Well, hello everybody. Chef Joe from Camp Make a Dream, Gold Creek, Montana. Now I know you kids all recognize me, probably not like this, but a lot of people ask what I do when I'm not cooking at camp. Well, usually I go out and I camp or I go hunting and fishing and I cook there also with everything that I gather. Um, Behind you can kind of see some of this stuff that we've gotten here. This is a mountain lion, cougar, puma. Believe it or not, it's all the same animal. And this was taken Christmas Eve here in Montana. And it was a great hunt. I hunted with hounds, and it was a very rugged, difficult hunt, but a very good eating animal. I should tell you, mountain lion is one of my favorite game animals to eat. And then, of course, the wolf. Now, I don't eat wolf. Some people might, but this one was actually caught outside of a cattle pen getting calves, and so he was as a nuisance animal. But we do hunt wolves, and I love seeing them in the wild and listening to them also. When I'm out there in camp, a lot of times you're limited to what you have to cook with. So I don't know if you can notice this pan or not, but when I have 6 or 8 guys that we're hanging out in elk camp with, and we have a little fire pit that we have open flame, this is what I do a lot of my cooking with. This in a Dutch oven, believe it or not, I can do everything with those 2 items that I can do in a full kitchen. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but you have to have a good knife when you're in camp. And so, utilizing everything that we do, this was actually an old leaf spring off a Jeep. And blacksmith forged it, hammered it down. The elk is a shed horn, the handle that we made with it. And then this is a rattlesnake hide that I had killed the snake with, and then my friend was nice enough and talented enough to make it into this sheath for my knife. So we probably won't be using this tonight just because the steaks and everything else are already cut up. But that's going to bring me to what we're going to eat today. And we're going to cook some elk steaks up, and I'm going to talk to you about how we're doing that. I mentioned earlier that I love to hunt, and there's reasons why I hunt. One, the food. It's very rewarding to go out, find an animal, stalk it, kill it quickly and humanely, and then bring it back to eat. But I also utilize all the hides. I make hats, and raccoon is actually good eating, but it's a little greasy. So, but it is good in a spaghetti sauce. So, if you utilize everything like that, you're hunting, you're doing conservation, and you're protecting and preserving wildlife actually. So, when we hunt, that's one of the reasons I hunt for food. The other reason is the camaraderie that I have with family and friends while I'm out hunting, and the stories that happen. Things happen when you're hunting and hiking that just don't happen anywhere else. I can't tell you how exciting it is. Even last night, for example, I was up bear hunting, but I found 3 moose that I got within 30 yards of, and they didn't eat well. One of them didn't know I was there. The other one found out I was there and took off. And then I saw 3 really massive bull elk that I'm so excited because come next fall, I'll be out there chasing those things to replenish what I have. And then the other great part of hunting and harvesting something is being able to share it with your friends and family and telling the stories about how you got that. And so that's kind of what we're going to do today. We're going to do some elk steaks from an cow elk that I harvested last year. We're doing a huckleberry reduction sauce, and these are huckleberries that I picked also. On the average, I pick about 3 to 5 gallons of huckleberries every year. We make our jam. I make pies with them, freeze the pies, pull them out, eat them. And then I just have little bags of berries just for fun. And we're going to do a reduction sauce, and then we're also going to do some huckleberries on some ice cream for dessert tonight. We're also going to serve some side dishes to go with this meal. And we've got some asparagus that's wrapped with a prosciutto and Italian ham basically. We'll do a little wild rice, and then our elk steaks that we're going to grill on the grill. One thing you want to remember when you're cooking with wild game is the elk or venison, which is deer, elk, moose, are all the same, classified as venison. So with those animals, there's no fat. There's a tallow, which is a different type of fat that can actually go rancid if it's not cooked or not used quickly. So when you're cooking with the elk and stuff, what you really want to do is have everything else that you're doing with that meal prepared and ready to go. So the last thing we're actually going to do is barbecue the elk meat. And so we'll have all of our side dishes and everything ready to go, and then we'll put those elk steaks on, pull them out, set them on the plate, we'll plate them up, and we'll talk about how we did. So just kind of recap with the hunting stuff, I may start to go out for elk, but I'm going to find mushrooms, wild onions, there's plants and stuff that take the time to learn them. Take the time to read some books and find out what our pioneer ancestors used to do every day. They'd just be out there walking around or hunting or trapping, but they're also finding things that they eat. I may go out for an elk, but I'll come back with a rabbit, a bag full of mushrooms and wild onions, and maybe a grouse. And so those are all good eating things that you can harvest while you're out there. Huckleberries are another great thing, but there's alpine blackberries, there's salmon berries, thimbleberries. In this area, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Montana, we actually have 8 varieties of huckleberries, which go from blueberry all the way up to a red salmonberry, which are all part of the huckleberry family. So you go out and you gather those, and you can make a mountainberry jam, we make syrups and everything else, and it's just a great way to spend some time, get some exercise in, see what's going on, and Mother Nature's right there in your face, basically. And I don't even want to start about fishing, because that's going to be a whole nother segment, and we'll talk about that maybe in the future. So right now, let me talk about this sauce real quick. This is a triple reduction huckleberry sauce. So we start out with the huckleberries, and you can use a jam or you can use the fresh berries like I have. If you're using the berries, you want to add about 2 cups of water to that and a little bit of sugar, and then what you're doing is you're cooking it down till about half of that liquid is gone. And then get permission from your parents if you're under 21, but you're going to want to add a cup of red wine to this, and you're going to cook it down again till it's halfway gone. And then you add some chicken stock, which is our third reduction, and that's cooked down. And after that third reduction, everything is just cooked down, those flavors have all blended, and you have the sweetness from the berries and the wine, you get a little tartness from the wine, and then you have the salty from the chicken stock. And so that's a syrup, basically a barbecue sauce that we're going to add onto our plate and add onto our steaks when we're all done. One of the other things we did was artisan bread. I do sourdough bread in the Dutch ovens, and we'll probably do something about that later on. I know I've taught the classes, and some of you probably attended those here in